Hey troops, GeneralJSmith here, back with the last LEGO Star Wars 2015 Winter Set build and review. And today, to finish off this line, I am doing Ezra's speeder bike, set number 75090. Ages 7 to 12, comes with 253 pieces and is retailing for £20 or $20, $19.99. So yeah, this is going to be the last of my LEGO Star Wars 2015 reviews, or at least the winter line. It's been, it has been, a great line, to be honest. Great is going a little far. There have been some great sets, absolutely, but overall, I do prefer the 2014 winter line. I'm going to be honest, just because I'm a Clone Wars fan. However, I can understand why some people would really love it, especially if you're like, an Originals fan. Finally, we're getting more original sets, stuff you can actually use, stuff that you like, all this kind of stuff. And of course, the original sets have been kind of lacking with the Clone Wars and stuff, but now we've got Episode 7, now we've got Star Wars Rebels and all this thing, yeah. So to finish off, I'm doing Ezra's speeder bike, the last set in this line. It's got some really cool minifigures. We do get another Stormtrooper. He's not new, but he's still really cool. We get Ezra, of course. I have never got him, but we did get him in the Phantom, so he's not technically new either. And we do get one new figure, and that is Sabine Wren? Roy? I don't know. I don't know why they feel the need to give us the last names of each of the minifigures, but whatever. And now, of course, a lot of people are complaining that we don't get a helmet, and that is an issue, but we'll go into that more later. But right now, it's just going to set itself, which is really cool, and I cannot wait to open this. In fact, I may even get just another one just for the sake of it, but we'll go into that in a minute. So let's, right now, do it for the last time of this line. Let's build this set. Alright then, so I'm back with Ezra's speeder bike and the Stormtrooper speeder bike, as well as the minifigures. So, yeah, pretty quick build. Actually, it took about half an hour, which is pretty substantial. I thought it would be quicker than that, just a couple of speeders, especially considering the same thing. But, whatever. These rod things, I've got to say, that connect them and you can push them in and out, yeah, they were a pain. More pain than I thought. And actually, at one point, I had to check the instructions to make sure I was doing the right thing, because I was not 100%. But, yeah, so they are pretty cool. And actually, this is not from the scene that everyone thinks it is. Everyone thinks it's from the first scene where, in the first episode, rather, where the two Stormtroopers are chasing Ezra. It is not from that scene. It is actually from a scene that will be coming up very soon in Star Wars Rebels, like in a future episode. But I'll talk about more of that in a minute. And now let's just get into the minifigures themselves. Alright, so first up with Ezra Bridger, I believe his name is. So, yeah. Pretty nice minifigure. Nothing too special, nothing I haven't seen before. We did get him in the, his Phantom, I believe. Or no, not his Phantom, but the Phantom. Pretty nice minifigure. I've never had him before, but he's pretty cool. Pretty standard, I guess. He comes with a wrench. Lord knows why. And maybe that's something to do with the scene, but I don't recall. Whatever, so he comes with the standard wrench there, and he falls off his pedestal. But, yeah, he also comes with his lightsaber. You may notice the lightsaber hilt is slightly different than the standard lightsaber hilt. That is mainly because they decided to give him a different style of lightsaber hilt, as in it's partially a blaster on one side, hence what I assume that extra barrel's meant to be. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, I wish they'd made like a completely new mold for him. I mean, they made a new mold for the Inquisitors thing, and a new mold for that lightsaber hilt would have been awesome. But I guess this kind of works. I mean, I can't really fault it. I mean, it does look odd though. It looks like it looks like a whole pair of binoculars, to be honest with you. So it looks kind of strange. But yeah, pretty cool, I guess. I mean, nothing too special. But yeah, we've never seen a lightsaber hilt where it also doubles up as a blaster. I'm not sure if I like that idea. I don't know really. Maybe yeah, I'm not sure. Still got to get used to it. But even so, that's one of the reasons actually you know it's not from that first scene, because by that point he had not constructed a lightsaber. You can see got some pretty decent, pretty standard torso printing. Leg printing is pretty nice, I guess. Nothing too special. You got one double-sided face. That's his first face, which is kind of a grin. And then turning his hair around, you've got his other face, which is kind of worried, I guess. So, alright, I guess, but nothing too special. Got a little bit of back printing there, but again, nothing unbelievably amazing, you know. But yeah, we have seen before then, if you've got the Phantom, you already have Ezra. But if you don't, then I guess, yeah, it's a good place to get him, you know. Of course, it's a good place to get Sabine as well, which we're going to go into right now. Alright, so the only new minifigure of this set is Sabine Wren, or something? I don't know. She is a Mandalorian. Ooh, and you can actually see her torso is slight Mandalorian type armor, as well as her knee armor plates. Very nice. She's got exposed skin on her arms, which is kind of doable. I mean, in the actual Star Wars Rebels, like, she has Mandalorian armor on her arms, but there are still arm exposed. I think there was more Mandalorian than actual arm exposed, so it's kind of weird. But I mean, I guess the minifigure does work. It does kind of look like that, and I didn't really notice that much until I actually looked at the actual character. So it does work, I suppose, as a minifigure. Of course, arm printing would have been amazing, but yeah. You get this new hairpiece, which I think is going to be extremely useful for customizers and those who like to paint or print, custom minifigures. To always get, different hairpieces where it kind of cuts off at the shoulders. And of course you've got a bit of printing on there, very nice. You get these weapons, they aren't new weapons, but they are definitely, well, they're definitely old weapons, and we haven't really seen that much, especially in Star Wars sets. I mean, perhaps they've come in the Lego City sets and other themes, but what these remind me of, because I recall years and years and years ago, before we had like the Marvel films and all those recent ones, we had like just DC and stuff. The Joker used to have these weapons, these like semi-machine guns. I think they're called Uzis in real life, I don't know what they're called. But I recall the Joker having these weapons. Like in Lego Batman 1, I remember he had these. So, that's where I remember them from. Lord knows why she has them. They do not remind me of her weapons in any such way at all. I mean, then again, we haven't seen her weapons that much, but even so, I think the weapons she has are significantly smaller. But yeah, as you can see, you've got the Rebel symbol there. Pretty standard back printing, nothing too special. Pretty nice, and she does have a double-sided face. This is her, I don't know, kind of worried, angry face, whatever. And this is her other face, normal face. I'm gonna be honest, this hairpiece makes her head look pretty tall, I guess. Because it kind of really goes out of her head, Or is that just me? Leave down in the comments if you think, that as well. I hope it's not just me who thinks that, but it kind of makes her head look a bit taller, a bit oddly shaped than the standard Lego minifig. But yeah, she's a new minifigure, and she finally completes our Rebels collection, I guess. If you've got the Ghost and the Phantom, well, no, I guess all you need now is the Ghost and this, because the Phantom was only for this guy, I think. Well, no, you need Chopper, but yeah, at least now you can complete your entire collection. A lot of people criticise she does not have a helmet. That is an issue. I am not happy with that. I very much wish she had a helmet. The Inquisitor comes with a helmet. I mean, I guess the only reason I can really think of Lego didn't make it is because if they made a helmet, then they could have made her a hairpiece. I don't believe that. I think they could have made both, definitely. They have done it in the past, but I don't understand. We've only seen the Inquisitor's helmet once, ever. And we've seen her helmet a number of times. Not that often, but still more than Inquisitor's. Yet she does not get a helmet. I guess they'd rather have her hair rather than having just a helmet. But I don't know. That's just my only reasoning. I have to think why Lego wouldn't make the helmet. I very much wish they had. Maybe in a later set and more Star Wars Rebel sets we'll get her again with her helmet. Hopefully we will. But until then, I guess we'll just have to wait. She does have a helmet in the scene, by the way. I mean, I haven't actually watched the episode yet because I haven't come out. But I do know she does have a helmet in that scene. So, But anyway, so that's basically it then. So this is the only new minifigure, Sabine Wren or whatever. And we'll just go to the last one, which is another Star Wars Rebel Stormtrooper. Alright, so here we have the Star Wars Rebel Stormtrooper as opposed to like a normal original trilogy one we got in like the Star Destroyer. And this is of course the same one we got in the Battle Pack. And so I like the fact we do get this in other sets rather than just the battle pack. I mean, of course, the battle pack, is the best imaginable place to get these guys. Get 4 standard ones, so how can you ask for any better? But even so, it's just nice to get them in some other sets, just to sort of add a bit more to your army. He comes in a normal blaster, and these are the ones that I really prefer over the new flick ones. And I so much wish they went back to this design. I mean, yes, of course, the playability is very good and all that, but, well, to be honest with you, I'm a teenager, and I'm not going to flick them, so I very much like this design. But, yeah. Anyway, but he's a standard Stormtrooper. He's got the Clone Trooper head. A lot of people have criticised, obviously it's not accurate, they are not Stormtroopers, but I don't care that much, really. I just see it as a trooper head. Pretty nice, though. Obviously, I've reviewed this guy before. We have seen him in the battle pack, as I said. But pretty nice. Of course, he goes on his speeder, because you do get 2. You get Ezra's and this guy's. Pretty nice. But yeah, so I guess now let's just get on to these sets themselves. Alright then, so on to the speeders. The speeders, by the way, are exactly the same design, other than, of course, the colours and all that stuff. So we'll just, I guess, well, no, we will look at both, but we won't really need to look at both in so much detail because of that. So here we have Ezra speed bike, and this is another good example of how this is not that scene from the very first pilot episode. For several reasons. Number one, back in that pilot episode, he's being chased by 2 guys. Now, of course, they could have just put 1. They've done that before. But they weren't stormtroopers. They were those, like, pilot guys. I believe these guys who came to 80 DP. He was being chased by them. Now, I guess they could have changed that if they wanted to, but there was no real reason to. Also, another good reason is the fact that he stole a speeder bike from the stormtroopers, and he was chased in that. So he obviously didn't have time to customize it. And the third reason, I have seen a slight clip of the upcoming new episodes, don't know what it's called, like episode 11 or something, and he has customized his own speeder, and this is it. So, there's, it's not from this episode, is what I'm saying. Everyone thinks it's from the pilot episode. It's not from the first episode. It is from the upcoming episode coming soon, hence why it looks slightly different. But anyway, so his speeder is pretty cool. Got these foldable, flaps in the front, which do go all the way up or all the way down if you want them to, but they're not really meant to. You got that's a sticker. The only printed brick is that. Pretty nice. It reminds me of like Embo's hat, if you know the bounty hunter. You got that's a sticker, rebel symbol. This does move slightly, but it's not really meant to. The only feature, I guess this is apart from the thing, but it seems kind of weird, is as you see there, it goes in and out. A lot of people are having problems with this when they build it. I did have problems as well. I had to really bash, these rods in, because you have to put them sort of in from the back, and then slide them through, and it's difficult, and just, yeah. But, yeah, so it does do like that. It seems like a pretty, I guess it's convenient, if you want to save a bit of space. It's not like saving, it's a lot of space. Like, oh, look, you've saved that much space, like, less than 2 inches of space. But, whatever, it's a feature. You get the not spring load, but like, flick missiles, or whatever they're called, I don't know, on the side. You get them on both of them. The other one, obviously, they're red. This one is green. These do not move. At first, I thought these might move, like these are flaps, but they don't. To give you the impression it's flying, or hovering, it has these slippery things here. But that's basically it, and of course these are the 2 things that the guy holds on to. So we'll just actually make him hold on to them right, well, I mean, not hold on to them, I don't really need to show you that, but you can just sit in his seat there, like so, and he can hold these. I'm not going to make him hold them, because I don't have the time to waste, but, yeah, so he just sits like so, and he speeds away on his custom speeder. Pretty cool, I guess, pretty awesome, and we have seen the speeders several times, not the specific one, but like the standard Stormtrooper speed. We have seen that several times in Star Wars Rebels, similar like the Troop Transport and 80 DP. We have seen them multiple times, so it's only a matter of time till Lego was going to make it. But yeah, pretty cool little speeder. I mean, of course, in Star Wars we've got like 1,000 different speeders, bark speeders, other type of speeders. It's just so many different speeders. It's unbelievable. But I guess it's always nice to get a new type for like Star Wars Rebels and all that. But yeah, really pretty cool. Just show you a quick glimpse of the other one. As I said, exact same design except for different colours. You see, where it's green, dark green here, it'll be white here. And actually, where it's sand green there, it's still sand green. Oh, sorry, not sand green, like just sand, really sand yellow. As I said, that's a sticker. It doesn't have anything on there because this is printed. But yeah, and it has the same feature, which you can put it in and out if you really want to. But we'll just attach the Stormtrooper then to his speeder, and he's going to chase Ezra. And there you go. Oh, God. And by the way, I forgot to mention, these do swivel, but that's really just a coincidence, I think. You know, you can swivel if you really want them to, but they're meant to point forwards. So, yeah. I'm not too happy with them, I guess, because just in the way that we have seen these, like, perhaps on the speeders that we got, like, on Endor sets, you know, those speeders we see in Episode 6. It does have these things as well, these blasters, except they point fully forwards. This one doesn't. Because of how the grip and stuff on these guns work, you know, it points at an angle, and that just, it's not accurate, it looks weird. You know, how is a guy meant to try and shoot straight when they're pointing at an angle? But, well, whatever, there you go. Yeah, really, that's basically it for the speeders, though. Pretty cool. You know, a decent set. You get, you know, what you ask for. I mean, it does have more than 250 pieces, and it's only £20, so that's a very, very nice price, you know, what you'd expect from a set like this. The pieces are pretty small, though, so it is a very nice little set. Not the best, not the worst set. It's good at what it is, you know. I couldn't really ask any more from Ezra's speeder bike. I mean, I suppose I would have accepted if they made like a slightly bigger and added another one of these, you know, like another Stormtrooper on another speeder. That would have been kind of cool. Perhaps, I don't know, I think we saw Kanan in that scene as well. So perhaps add him, but yeah, for what it is really cool. I'm liking it. Let's just now go on to, I think, the instructions, the box, and then conclude this review. Alright, so on the instruction is a pretty standard thing, as you can see here. Nothing too special. I do not know what planet this is. I don't know. I do know, I guess, spoiler, if you really care. But one episode's recently come out, they went to this temple to get, what's his name? Ezra's lightsaber crystal, and this was a type of temple thing that sort of rose up, and it was pretty cool. But, yeah, got Disney Stars Rebels there. So, it's just an exact replica, of course, the box art, as all these instructions are. It's got 2 numbered bags, which is what you expect from a set of this size. And you got the standard thing on the back. You got all the Rebel sets. Very nice. And I've officially reviewed them all. This is the last one. So yeah, I only have them 2. I don't have these 3 or Sabine, but because I didn't get the Ghost or the Phantom, but whatever. And this is the last code. That's kind of depressing. It's the last code of this 2015 line. So go through. I mean, I haven't showed the AAT or the microfighters if they come with codes, but whatever. And you've got all the minifigures. I've showed every single one, apart from I think Jar Jar, but I don't think he's new. I don't think he's new. It's probably not new, and I think the AAT also comes with a couple of battle droids, but this is every different figure then. At some point I've showed them all. There you go. And I'm probably doing, in my Q&A, telling you which one is my favourite, so I haven't decided yet. Just think about that. Got the pieces, got the stuff, all that. You don't actually get that many spare studs for like, generally when you get these flicked things, you get a ton of spare studs because you lose them generally, but you don't get that many actually, so yeah. 58 pages of build. As you standard, you simply build Ezra's and then you build his Stormtroopers, and that's what make up the 2 different bags. So, although the 2 took longer than I thought they would. I thought they would be very quick, but whatever. Anyway, so that's basically the instruction manual. Let's just now go on to the box and conclude this review. Alright, let's go on to the box. The box is pretty nice, I guess. I've never really, well, probably have seen the size at some point, but it's kind of uncommon. This is the only box on this line to have this kind of a size. It's kind of the same height as the, what's it called? Battle packs, but it's like obviously considerably longer. Information there. Got Sabine. Yeah. Got the minifigures down here. Of course, Sabine is the only new one. So yeah, very nice. Got this kind of art there. Pretty cool, I guess, you know, nothing too out of the ordinary, but it's a pretty standard box. You have to, obviously, by the way, excuse, it's a little crinkled, because you have to appreciate, I tried to stack these boxes and like review them as I went, and this was at the very bottom, because it was the last set I reviewed, and thus, it was underneath so many larger sets, like the Wookiee Gunship and the ATDP, which kind of crushed it, but whatever. Anyway, but that's it, the box then. I guess that is it then. Wow, that's pretty conclusive, but let's just do this then. Let's go and conclude my final review of the LEGO Star Wars 2015 Winter Line sets. So that is it then. This is my conclusion to my review of Ezra's speeder bike, set number 75090. So, yeah, it is a great set. I mean, it's good for what it is. Not the best set, not the worst set of this line. It's a good filler set, really, and I'm not surprised they would at least make one of these speeders at some point. Who knows, maybe we'll see Ezra speeder bike more often. I know we're going to see it at least once in a future episode that will be coming very soon. So you can catch that on Monday, I believe, here in America. I'm not sure what other time in the rest of the world, but whatever. Yeah, really, we may actually see this speeder bike again, because it seems pretty common, as well as like the troop transport and other stuff like that. But that is it. I would give this a set a good 7 out of 10, you know, worth picking up. Not the first I would get. I'm not sure if this will go on sale. Maybe it will. It probably will at some point, but it's not one of those sets where it's going to go on sale straight away. Like, you know, this probably, it may go on sale eventually, but, you know, there's no harm picking up now. You know, £20 is a very good retail price for it, and I do recommend it. So, yeah, that's my opinions on Ezra Speeder Bike. And there we are. So, as you see before you, I have officially reviewed every single LEGO Star Wars 2015 winter set, not including the AAT, the Microfighters, or the UCS Slave 1. I would love to review the UCS Slave 1, but, well, I do not have £170 lying around. As you see in front of you, I've lined up every single Star Wars Rebels set, not every set, just the Star Wars Rebels ones. And this is, I believe, every single one from this line. I mean, we do have the Ghost and the Phantom from 2014 Summer line, but I don't have those. I'm not a massive fan of them, but whatever. If you have them, you can complete your collection. In this, we got Sabine, Ezra, and Kanan. We have not got Hera, is that her name? Hera, Zeb, or someone else, or Chopper. But whatever, if you've got those other sets, then you can get him anywhere. So yeah, the Star Wars Rebels set, Star Wars Rebels is a fairly new thing. It only started, what, last year in October, I believe, so it's still fairly new, and a lot of people are criticising it for basically cancelling the Clone Wars. I'm not too happy on that either, but I don't like blame Star Wars Rebels for that as such. You know, I mean, Dave Filoni is doing that, and he also obviously did Clone Wars, but he didn't want to cancel the Clone Wars. It was all Disney. I blame Disney for cancelling the Clone Wars, and I don't hold it against Star Wars Rebels, right? The sets themselves are not bad. In fact, some of them are some of the best as line. Like, that is one of the best battle packs ever. The Inquisitor says awesome, so is the ATDP. I mean, you know, the Star Wars Rebels, if they continue like this, I'm not going to be too unpleased with it. You know, sometimes they'll make some sets which are kind of odd, like the Wookiee gunship, but overall, I'm looking forward to Star Wars Rebels. I mean, I prefer the Clone Wars, but nonetheless, Star Wars Rebels is not a bad TV show, and they've not made that bad set so far, so let's just hope they continue it, and I cannot wait for Star Wars Episode 7 coming out at the end of this year. But that is it. So if you enjoyed the review or found it helpful, please do give it a like down below, because that would be extremely helpful in telling me if you like this, if you want to continue, if you do all this. Please leave down in the comments any questions you have. My Q&A will be coming this weekend. I think probably the next video, or maybe the one after the next one. So very, very soon. And of course, also leave down in the comments, how did you like the Star Wars Rebels line? How did you think it went overall? And you can include your opinions on the Ghost and the Phantom, which are the main sets. But how do you think, you know, if they keep making sets like this, how do you think it's going to go? Are you going to continue to buy these sets? You know, do you think they're going to sell well? Leave any questions or opinions you have down in the comments. I want it to be a discussion. I love discussing with you guys, and I might chime in occasionally. And of course, please subscribe to my channel, because I like to do all things LEGO Star Wars, including, of course, reviews, assuming I can afford all the sets. But there's also a ton of other things coming very soon, including, hint, slight new mock coming. Don't worry, it's not going to interfere with videos, but I'll talk more about this later. Anyway, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed every review I've done, and I will see you in another review. Stay awesome, guys. Bye, troops.